What did the two bones say when they met?
I don't know what.
We gotta stop meeting at this joint.
Oh, dear God.
God damn!
How long have you been holding on to that one?
Since yesterday.
You and Lee are perfect for each other, man.
Right?
These fucking jokes.
How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
8 tickles?
No.
Octicles? I don't remember.
10 tickles.
There you go. I'm dumb. Like, think of the actual word that the joke is about.
Jesus.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, man.
This is what's going on in my life. My brain is, like, firing on half of the cylinders.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm almost there. And then I just give up halfway through, like, oh, I don't know.
What's the best way to cut down Rome?
How?
With 2 Caesars.
Oh, dear God.
Okay, I'm done, I promise.
Oh, my God, I really want to remember this one that Lee told me, but I can't remember it. And you know when it's like, don't tell it if you can't deliver it?
Yeah, then it's going to be like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's good.
Although he delivered it and I was like, I don't get it. And then he had to explain it and I was like, jokes aren't funny if you have to explain it. And he's like, I thought that shit was hilarious.
Brandon told me one last night and I was like, I don't get it. And then he had to explain it to me and he's like, well, 811 is the number you call before you have to dig so that you see if there's any pipes in there. And I'm like, why would I know that? Like, cool, I'm glad that for some reason you know that. But I guess since you sell insurance to contractors, maybe that's why you'd know it. But like, why would you just assume that I'd be like, oh yeah, 811?
He hit you with a work joke? That's the worst kind of joke.
Right?
You can't share those. I've tried multiple times.
Well, it was like, if you're coming into my house, whatever, then I'm not going to call 911. I'm going to call 811 before I dig, like, your grave, I guess. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, what is that? He's like, 811's who you call and make sure there's no pipes.
Oh, God. He hit you with a work joke.
Yeah, and I was like, you're done. I don't. Okay. Cool. I'm glad that you enjoyed that one, babe. Did you wake me up for this? Fuck you.
Oh, no. He woke you up for it.
Well, I had just been like, good night, and then rolled over. And he was like, check this shit out.
Gives you a little tappy tap on the shoulder. You're like, act like you're asleep.
He's like, you do not fall asleep that fast. I'm like, you'd be surprised.
Damn it.
Well, are you excited for my goddamn?
Yes. Is this your way to get me to ask you what your goddamn is, Erin?
Yes,
okay.
If you would be so kind. I think it might be the same as yours.
Oh.
Which I guess not, judging by that reaction.
I'm intrigued. Okay, hit me with it.
Well, we're a little bit late because we're recording in advance. But Michael Turney got arrested.
Oh my God, this should have been my goddamn. This is what I'm talking about with my brain firing on half cylinders.
I know. I was like, okay, Stacey
God.
was super invested in this one too. It's going to be her goddamn too.
It was the one fucking case. Everybody's like, what one case do you want to see justice for? Blah, 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 blah. This was it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah. It was just an arrest. He's not fucking trialed yet, but
I know.
It's the beginning.
Oh my
to his end.
So this is the stepfather of Alyssa Turney, who I think I covered in like episode 14 or some shit.
In exactly episode 14 or maybe.
According to my calculations, I believe. Where you know how you have it in your head and you're like, for sure it's that number, and then you're way off and you're like, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. I don't know. Go to isgtpodcast.com and Google Alyssa Turney or search Alyssa Turney and
you'll find it.
But Stacey covered it and we both got super fucking invested in this shit because,
oh my God,
dude,
that's fucking crazy. First of all, they have to have something in order to arrest him, right? Like,
yeah,
they've got to have something new that popped up.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder.
I know. This is amazing. Also, I feel really bad for her sister, Sarah Turney, because first of all, like, hell yeah, she's been on this whole like rampage to get her stepdad arrested for the murder or disappearance of her sister. But now I feel so bad because that's like your family too, right? Like when we were telling the story, from what I understood, Sarah and her dad were pretty close growing up, you know? Like she didn't realize all this bad shit and then it came out.
But
so that's
also
she so hard.
She turned her opinion on him pretty hard and has been rallying against him. Like, yeah, it sucks that that's her family, but at the same time, it sucks that that's her family that did that, not that that's their family.
Well, and then also another thing, too, is like, all like the Phoenix Police Department, all their tweets and shit said like been arrested for the murder of Alyssa Turney. And I was like, murder, they must have something, right? Not just the disappearance.
Yeah.
They have something.
I would
so
think.
then now in Sarah's head, I'm sure you always have some sort of little tiny flicker of hope that maybe she's not dead because we don't have a body.
Yeah.
And then to hear that, it's got to be like, fuck.
But there's also got to be some kind of a closure to
For
it.
sure. It's just kind of like like an exciting but tough time.
Yeah,
God.
for sure. Oh, I wouldn't want to ever be her in that situation, in any of this situation.
Hell no. But isn't that crazy? That's a good goddamn.
Yeah, I thought so.
So excited.
I know. I've been thinking about it fucking for the past 3 days since it was announced, or 2 days or whatever. Ooh.
Yeah, we are really late now because this is 4 weeks later.
Yeah, I know.
But don't worry, when I get back from my trip, then we'll be fucking on the pulse of the hot news again.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Like we always are.
You come to us for news, right?
Yeah. You heard it here first. 4 weeks late. Okay, Erin, are you ready for my goddamn?
So ready.
All right, so my sweet, sweet, sweet baby boy, the littlest one, for some reason, I have either lost my talent or he's just got super, super sneaky poos. And so he'll take a shit sometimes, and I have no idea that the kid is walking around with a turd in his britches.
Yep.
And my first son, if he toots, it smokes out the whole house. So I think I've just relied on that radar for so long.
Yeah.
That now I don't recognize sometimes when my youngest one takes a shit. So the other morning I get up with the kids and the youngest one had taken a shit and I didn't realize. And now it's been an hour. He's been trudging around the house with a shit in his diaper that he has sat on 1,800 times. So now it's like a pancaked smeared shit.
Ugh.
And he happened to cruise by and I caught a little whiff and I was like, did you toot? And then I felt his diaper and I'm like, oh, that's a full blown shit. So I go to change him and it's one of those it would have been okay if I got it right away.
Oh, no.
But because he had walked around everywhere, it kind of just mushed
Oh, no.
all over his junk,
Oh,
all
no.
over the sides of his legs, his clothes weren't ruined, but it was almost there. I was like, goddamn, Mother of the Year award right here, right? And so I pop his little diaper off. And my son has recently taken to thinking that it's really funny when I change his diaper to grab his junk really aggressively.
Oh, God,
and
no.
he'll grab it and he'll go, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you psycho. And so I popped off his little diaper, forgetting about his little trick, and there's poo everywhere.
Oh, no.
And then he grabs it super aggressively, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And now there's poop all over. And then he pulls his hand back as if he's going to do it again. It's like his little fucking weird game of peekaboo. He's going to do it again, and now there's poop on his hands. And I'm like, oh no. And the more I'm screaming, oh no, the more he thinks it's really funny to grab his shit or grab his junk, which is also covered in shit. Oh my God, this kid did it 5 times. And every time I was like, no. And he kept grabbing. And I was
my God.
trying to hold his little tiny wrist and wipe his hands off with a wet one, which is never enough. The kid needs a full blown bath at this goddamn point.
Yeah. Ugh, especially with little fucking baby hands.
Oh, and he's got the longest, sharpest fingernails ever. So first of all, I'm always be careful, you're going to slice your weenie. And then second of all, now they're just covered in shit.
Oh, that is so gross.
Oh my God. And every time he'd almost put his hands on his face, he was laughing so hard. And I'm like, ah! I'm pulling them away. And then my oldest son walked in because he likes to help with diaper changes. And he's like, what's going on, Mom? And I'm like, there's too much stimulation. I need a break.
Oh my God. You're like, I just need a quiet, dark room now.
Oh my God. And
Decompress what just happened.
Yes. Literally traumatized.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I sorted it out, so it was all good. But it was this mini, 2 minutes of pure hell for me.
Oh God.
Oh, motherhood. It's beautiful.
So my kid never got into grabbing his junk or anything.
Yeah.
Occasionally now he'll see it and he'll be like, it's long. And I'm like, well, stop thinking about it and it'll be short again.
Just ignore it.
And we'll go through that little thing. But just recently, the other day, I went to pick him up from his grandpa's house. And she was like, he said something kind of weird. And I was like, well, what? And she's like, we'll talk about it later. And I was like, what the fuck could he have said?
Oh, God.
Yeah. And so then, I was like, what was it? 'Cause now I want to know. You can say it, because it's not going to be that bad. You can say it in front of him and me. I don't care who else knows.
You can do it in code.
Yeah, exactly. And so she goes, well, we were changing him. And he started saying that he had a big clock. do you have a big clock at home? And I was like,
my God.
no.
You're like, I got Macklemore over here. Hold up.
Flava Flav. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know where he got it from. It must have been daycare or something. But then I was like, that's really
Yeah,
weird.
I'm sure it must have been daycare. We don't use that word in our house.
Clock? No. Because he was enunciating like clock. And I have a big clock. But he said it, it just so happened that he said it when he was being changed. And I was like, haha, that's a funny coincidence. That's weird. I guess
Do they
him and
listen
Grandpa.
to, like, Kids Bop?
No. No, my kid listens to, like, Old Town Road, like the real version. But I guess him and Grandpa had been talking about clocks earlier, and so I was like, oh, that's probably what happened. And then I got him home, and, like, the next day or something, he was like, Mom, I have a big clock. And I was like, okay, this is weird.
Okay, what's going on
Also,
here?
it was when I was changing him. So I don't know what he's talking about. I think one of the older kids at daycare might have thought it was funny.
What the? Okay, I can't believe that you're shocked that you don't know where it came from.
Where did it come from?
I don't know, like your house in general, you guys never say the word cock.
No,
Any
not
of the
really.
shit you listen to in front of your children. You straight up listen to like full-on fucking detailed murder podcast with your son in the car. And
Not
you're like,
anymore.
I don't know how he got this idea that there's a word out there that could mean you're pee-pee.
Not anymore. I stopped because he would be like, Mom, is it owie? I'm like, well, okay.
Okay, oopsie. Well, now
Whoopsie.
listen, just for the record, I'm not judging you because...
And I don't think we say cock usually. Like, it's not my go-to insult, like, hey, cocksucker or something. Like, that's not my thing. I'm like, hey, you little stupid or dum-dum, because those, I think, are funnier than...
What about, like, any, like, stand-up comedians or any shit like that? Like, has he been exposed to it? I'm just assuming
I would
it
think,
came
like,
from
Jim
your
Jeffries
home.
or something, but that would have been, like, cunt.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what he's trying to say. Stupid. There's no L in that.
Yeah. Well, at least get it right.
Oh, God, that's funny.
I hit him with the hard T.
It's okay. My kid says Jesus all the time, like as a swear word, like Jesus, right? And then I've heard him say Jesus Christ, and I've been intervening, like, okay, listen, you don't say that. And
Yeah.
I haven't been laughing. And so now he just says like the syllables and like close enough letters to it to make it sound like, but he's not really saying it, but he's not saying any words. He'll be like, Jesus, cramine, or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. He says it every fucking time. And I'm like, what? Like he's saying Jesus Christ. But he says like different letters and syllables.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm not fighting this battle because right now no one else knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I have to be careful what I say.
My kid, I don't know where to draw the line. Like, when he started saying fucking heck, I was like, that's a line.
Yeah,
that's
there it
over
is.
it. I know where that one is. But, like, holy crap. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a curse word or not. Or, like, if someone's going to get offended by that. Because I don't care, personally.
Yeah, if you say crap.
Yeah, but also, like, if we go to the store or something, I don't want him to be like, holy crap, grapes are on sale? I don't know. Whatever. And then have, like, a little old lady be like, oh.
I'm so offended.
Yeah.
Wait, my son started saying either crap or sucks. It was one of those words that, like you said, not offended by, but I never say, just not because I'm like, oh, so offended. It's like just not in my vocabulary at the moment in life. And he started saying it, and I was like, oh, I bet he picked that up from daycare. Because that's his only other exposure right now is daycare.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad.
Which is why I think my kid got clocked from daycare. We have a clock, but they might have a big clock on the wall.
I'm still convinced it's like the Kids Bop version of thrift shop.
Oh, what do they say?
I'm sure they say walk into the, I don't know, club or something like what up? I got a big clock. I don't know. I've never heard it. I'm just assuming.
Oh my God. Well, goddamn.
All right, Erin, tell me your murder story.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I hope that you haven't heard this one before because it happened in San Diego.
Ooh. Well, you know, every time you talk about something, I'm going to be like, I heard this one, and then I'll never have heard it. So
I know, right?
Buckle
Well,
up.
this one, I believe that I had heard it. I had happen before.
yeah, once or twice.
But also, upon researching it, I was like, I don't know, man. This is a lot of fucking details that either I didn't know or I have forgotten. So, listen.
Well, I'm excited. I'm intrigued.
All right.
Take
This
me
one.
on your journey.
Okay. I am going to tell you about Kristen Rossum and Greg DeVillers.
Okay. They don't sound familiar so far, so let's take us on this journey.
You don't know them? Okay.
No, not personally.
So, like I said, this one happened in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen was born in October of 1976, and she grew up in Claremont, California.
Okay, I know where that is.
Mm-hmm. She had 2 younger brothers, and her parents were relatively wealthy. Like,
Claremont.
yeah, they were kind of the well-off people.
Uh-huh.
And she did modeling as a child, and she
Goddamn.
was, like the fucking picture-perfect blonde San Diego girl.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Little
And
pretty
she
girl.
served.
Yeah, probably, right? And in high school, she was a straight A student up until her junior year when she started dabbling in drugs.
Ooh, thought you were going to say witchcraft. Got excited.
No, not witchcraft, meth.
Oh, a different kind of witchcraft. The street witchcraft.
Exactly, the street witchcraft.
Uh-huh.
You want to turn crack into meth? So I can turn water into pee.
I need my ceremonial dagger, a.k.a.
To
my
cut up
syringe.
this fucking line. Yeah. I did not know how you ingest or take or whatever meth, and then it said like that her friend cut it into lines, and I was like, I thought that was
Oh.
Coke, but all right.
Well, I think it's like one of those you could do it a lot of different ways. You could like,
Oh, it's
Well-
just one of those versatile drugs.
yeah, like it comes in all fucking vapors,
All flavors.
liquid, solid, whatever your favorite is.
Oh my god. Well, apparently she was fucking cutting up lines of it, right?
Maybe I'm thinking of heroin. Don't you like smoke one off of foil? Listen, we've said this before. Don't come here for your drug knowledge.
Yeah. I think heroin is off of like a dirty spoon. I think the spoon has to be dirty.
Yeah, it's a law.
like an old, I use this for coffee and also meth.
And then when I'm done with my meth, I stir my coffee just to get an extra little boost.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what she was into.
Got it.
And she got addicted really quickly, obviously, because meth is fucking addicting, I've heard.
Yeah.
And her grades fell, and she started stealing and lying.
Ooh.
And then in 1993, she even stole her parents' credit card, checks, and a video camera when they went out of town. The video camera was like, a VHS one.
Like one of those bricks.
Yeah.
You had to hold on your shoulder and you're like, this shit is heavy.
Yeah. And so they were out of town, so she's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take all this shit. And then she sold it all for drug money.
Okay.
I guess she didn't sell the credit cards and the checks.
Gotcha.
But,
Just the video camera.
She used them.
I see.
And she got drugs with all of her stolen items.
She's like, do you take card or check?
Right? They're
It's your
like,
drug dealer.
yes.
I'll take B card.
Yeah. You can buy this credit card for $50. So her parents never pressed charges against her or anything because they were like, oh, well, if we just, I don't know, get her off the drugs ourselves, then it won't ruin her life, right?
They're trying to protect her.
Exactly. So they're just hoping that she's going to fucking cool it and they can get her off the drugs.
Got it.
At one point, her dad thought that she was hiding drugs in her backpack. And so he grabbed the backpack and started trying to go through it.
You got stabbed with a needle.
Yeah, well, he didn't get stabbed with a needle, but she was like fighting him and stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
And so he ended up hitting her on the arm several times, I guess,
Okay.
allegedly, according to her. But he got the backpack, and I guess Kristen felt so bad, like, about everything, about having drugs and about hitting or being hit by her dad. Like, oh, I'm just a worthless piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
And so she went and got a kitchen knife,
Oh, God.
and she
Oh, God.
cut her wrists.
Okay. Different direction.
Oh,
Sad.
God. Yeah,
I
true.
thought she was going to stab her dad.
No. She was like, oh, I'm worthless and blah, blah, blah. So then she cut herself because she's like, oh, you'd be better off without me, right?
Oh, that's so sad.
Super sad. And then I guess she didn't, like, die because her parents are still in the room. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, God. That would, like,
Terrify me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she ran into the bathroom where she started slashing at her wrists with a razor.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I guess she had, like, locked the door and she was screaming through the door that she was worthless and that they were going to be better off without her.
Oh,
like,
no.
basically, I'm going to kill myself. Sorry about it, right?
Oh, Lord.
According to her, because she did survive,
Yeah.
she did it because she wanted them to know how sorry she was for, like, everything that she put them through.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah. And her parents obviously ended up being able to get to her, and they bandaged up her wrists and
They
said,
didn't call, like, a paramedic?
no.
What the fuck?
They said that the wounds were superficial, so they didn't take her to a hospital.
I'm not a doctor to determine that.
Right? I'd be like, okay, well, like, maybe we can't put a Band-Aid on your mental health.
Yeah, bare minimum, let's go see a psychiatrist.
Right? Like, fuck, man. But later she said that they were afraid to take her to a hospital because I don't know why, but I don't know if it was like a reputation thing because, again, they were kind of like the wealthier people and she was the, good student, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah,
and so they
this
didn't
is like
want
the 80s or something, right?
90s, early 90s, 94.
I'm sure there's some like stigma and shit. I mean, there still is today, but
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
A lot more open about our feelings.
Yeah, but also a parent from then was older, so then they're that previous generation that's even more
Like, sweep your shit under a rug. Let's not talk about it. Who
Exactly.
wants a martini?
Exactly. But they did, to their credit, enroll her in a bunch of different, like, outpatient drug rehab places.
Okay, cool.
I say a bunch of different because they kept not working.
Got it.
And so she kept relapsing, and it was kind of hard to get her to stay, like, with the program of any of them.
Yeah.
But by 1994, she actually got her shit together enough and went away to college to Redlands University.
Okay.
And she stayed in the dorms. So now she's, like, away from her family and people that she
life.
previously knew, right?
Yeah. All her drug dealers and shit.
Exactly, which is
cool.
supposed to be a good sign, right?
Yep.
But she ended up relapsing on meth again, and she dropped out.
Okay.
Side note, she thought she was going to be able to control her drug habit this time
Oh, Lord.
by only using meth before big exams and to study harder. Like,
Okay.
I'm just going to stay up all night and study. You know?
Yeah. I mean, people do that shit with Adderall. So.
Yeah, and it's still a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Just because it's not called meth doesn't mean it's not speed. Adderall literally is speed.
So true.
But, I mean, to each his own. Do you?
I've totally taken Adderall before, and it made me so calm, and I focused, and I was like, fuck.
I can't do this.
This is how I find out I have ADHD.
Right?
It worked.
Oh, man. You're like, uh-oh, I'm addicted.
I need more. Actually, no, I didn't like it. I was like, it made me too calm, almost like a zombie. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can do this next. And then I just did it. I'm like,
Ooh.
okay, now the next thing.
And you're like, I'd rather be frazzled and fun.
I'd rather be a spaz.
Oh, man. Well, apparently she was like, meth is the same shit, right?
Right.
So she ended up dropping out and she moved down to Chula Vista, California.
Okay, I know that place too.
Yeah, it's our fucking neck of the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she went to TJ to buy drugs and party.
Naturally. I mean, TJ is literally like any place in Chula Vista, you can look to the left if you're facing the ocean, and there's TJ.
Yeah, basically.
It's like the whole wall. You see the wall.
And it was 94, so it was still like, hell yeah, go there, party. You can come back. Everything's fine.
You don't even need an ID.
There's no border security.
Yeah. Just say you're from the U.S.
Yeah. Look at her. She's a fucking blonde white chick. They're going to be like, yeah, it makes sense. Come on. So while she was on the pedestrian bridge leading into TJ, she dropped her jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And like some goddamn romance novel, a handsome guy named Greg DeVillers picked it up for her.
Aww.
And they ended up hitting it off right away. And she went with him back to his apartment.
Damn, like that same day?
Yeah, she was like, fuck yeah, you seem cool. And he was like, fuck yeah, you seem cool.
Oh my God.
And it was love at first sight, you know?
What a gentleman.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm pretty sure they were both intoxicated.
Yeah, that happens. When you're in TJ.
Right. So she ended up staying in his apartment with him for a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
With him, his brother, and their roommate.
Do you think he was like, okay, but like, you can go home now?
Get the fuck out. You are a one-night stand.
Oopsie. We got a stage 5.
I think that's what the brother and the roommate were thinking.
Uh-huh.
But apparently Greg was like, nope, this is it for me. Like, I fucking love this chick, right?
Aww.
Yeah, but Greg's brother thought that she was like bad news. And he was like, yo, she has a fucking meth problem.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed this.
So here's the thing.
Yeah. And he also noticed that stuff had been missing from the apartment. So, like...
She's pawning shit off.
Yeah, hey, man, maybe get rid of this fucking sketchy chick you just met in TJ. Like,
Yeah. I have an idea.
Yeah, maybe it's her.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we had a TV mounted right here?
Do you remember when we had things that were like worth something?
There's like dust marks or like impressions or whatever where stuff used to be. Oh, man. Yeah, so that was happening. But Greg was like, nope, I'm in love. Like, this is my shit. I'm not gonna listen to you guys. It's her over you, right?
Oh, Lord. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hoes before bros.
I hear you. That's what I always say.
Exactly. So Greg helped Kristen to get off meth because he's like, okay, but seriously, I do still want to keep like my TVs and stuff.
Okay, and your teeth.
And
that's
your teeth,
nice of
yeah.
him, though. So he helped her.
Yeah, he helped her get off meth and he encouraged her to enroll at SDSU.
Ooh, our college.
Our little alma mater there.
That's the word I couldn't think of.
Yeah.
I was like, alumni. Nope.
We're an alumnus.
There you go.
It's an alumnus. We both went there.
Jesus.
Okay, so she ended up actually getting her shit together enough to do really well in school.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And she graduated summa cum laude. Laude.
The word cum is in there.
Yeah.
Not cum.
And then I laughed because you said cum. In chemistry, actually, in 1998.
Well, she was smart, like, before all the meth. She's getting, like, straight A's and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Chemistry
and also,
is so hard.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Oh, that's just real hard.
But what better thing to know if you're going to get into, like, I don't know, drugs that you cook up.
Right? She's like, I got Drano and bleach. Let's make this a thing.
Yeah, she's like, let's Breaking Bad this bitch.
Yeah. Who wants bacon?
So a little bit about Greg. He also came from a really good household, and his dad was a world-famous plastic surgeon.
Oh, that has got to be an interesting man to talk to.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I had a real fucking doozy today.
Yeah, like, what is a tough day for you?
Well, someone wanted a third nipple put on.
To get the blood supply to keep that thing alive is almost impossible.
Exactly. So Greg obviously was off to a fucking good start, right? Mm-hmm. And he ended up becoming a biochemical expert.
Goddamn. Mm-hmm. Okay, these people are going to take over the drug world, aren't they?
Well, Kristen's parents were like absolutely in love with Greg, and they thought he was a fucking great influence because he got her off meth and shit too, right?
Right? Got her back in college, cleaned up her act.
Yeah.
Gave her a chance when she was stealing all his shit.
Yeah, he did all the things that her parents were trying to do, like go to school, get off meth, you know, things that most parents try to do. Yeah. And so Kristen and Greg got engaged, but a month before they said their vows, Kristen broke down to her mom saying that she wasn't sure she was making the right decision.
Oh, no.
And that she wanted to call off the wedding.
Oh, no. Do it. If you feel like that, do it.
Right?
Fucking do it.
But her mom was like, nope, that's just cold feet. Don't worry about it. Don't call off the wedding.
If that's how you feel, do it.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Or just be like, I mean, let's just fucking cool it for a couple more months. Like,
yeah, like I'm not ready.
Yeah, push it back.
Yeah.
So it's surprising how many people are like, yeah, but I have a deposit, so.
Yeah, I know, right? Or like all of my friends and family are going to go, oh, so who cares?
Yeah, they'll fucking cancel their flights. They'll be fine.
Your friends and family aren't going to have to go through a divorce.
Yeah, that's going to be
or
so much fucking
murder
worse.
trial.
Right? This is going to be so much worse.
Yeah.
Just fucking stop it before it starts. So they didn't. She was like, all right, thanks, Mom. Thanks for all the advice, right?
Yeah.
And they ended up getting married the next year, and they moved to La Jolla.
Oh, these bitches are doing great.
Fucking apparently. Yeah. La Jolla is like our fucking fancy ass place, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like the real fancy place.
Yeah. And Kristen started a job as a toxicologist at the San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office.
This is getting interesting.
Yeah. And also, fucking legit job. Like, what? I want to work there.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to you.
Right?
I want to see it all.
Yeah.
Can I just touch the body? I'm just kidding.
Okay, no.
Oh, that got too weird.
No, not that.
So they've both got their shit together. A fucking house in La Jolla. They both have really good jobs. Like, fucking everything's going
great.
Splendid. Mm-hmm. Kristen, however, had a hard time remaining monogamous.
Oh, shit.
On account of, you know, how she wasn't sure if she was supposed to marry him or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently she was graphically flirtatious. With an ex-boyfriend.
She was like, let me explain in detail all the things that I would do if I had not been
I think it
married.
Literally means like sexting, but also it was like early 90s-ish. So maybe not sexting. Like, do you write letters?
Like emails?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe. So then 7 months after their wedding, Kristen confided to her mom again that she felt trapped in the relationship. And then 11 months after the wedding, Kristen emailed her brother and said basically that I should have trusted my own instincts, and now I'm stuck with the realization that I married the wrong person.
Oh, no. That's so sad.
Yeah. So, not going so hot.
No.
Perfect life, fucking shitty relationship, right?
Which will ruin it all.
Yep. And Greg apparently was on the complete opposite side of this whole thing. He was like, no, we have a great relationship. He tells his friends how he's so excited to start a family with her.
Oh, God.
And like, oh, look at all these fucking fun things that we do. Like, we're so in love, right?
How not fair to him.
Oh, my God, right?
Yeah.
Like, fucking leave. If you're not in it, leave.
Nobody wins.
Yeah. So it was about this time that Kristen started an affair with an Australian guy named Michael Robertson.
Oh.
Michael was her boss.
Uh-oh. That's not
And
good.
He was also married.
Uh-oh. That's really not good.
Yeah. So, a little fucking scandalous, right?
Yeah. Don't shit where you sleep or eat. Whatever that saying is.
Don't eat where you shit. So what I saw as a red flag, but apparently she found fucking charming,
Yeah.
was that he was a self-proclaimed expert in date rape drugs.
Oh, God.
I don't know in what way he was an expert.
But he was self-proclaimed, so.
Yeah, I don't want it. Also,
Hey, you know what I'm really good at?
this is what, like, coworkers were saying. Like, he's a self-proclaimed date rape drug expert.
I
What?
don't understand how that comes up in topic.
Well, they do work at a toxicology office. And
Yeah.
so he's a supervisor. Maybe a body comes in and everyone's like, I wonder what it could be. And he's like, date rape.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like how, what, you just predict it? Like,
Yeah.
you're in you just run a fucking lab and you're like, yeah, it was date rape.
Yeah, maybe he looks at a body and he's like, no, I know for sure. I can tell
like-
right off the bat.
This one just screams date rape all
Yeah.
over it.
On account of, see how pretty she is?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah. So
No.
that's a fucking, I don't know. I saw it as a red flag.
Yeah,
but
that's
listen.
a little concerning.
Mm-hmm. So then Kristen had started her job with Robert and everybody at the toxicology place as an intern while in college, but she did really well. And so as soon as she graduated, they were like, fuck yeah, get over here,
You
right?
got a job.
They didn't do a background check or a drug test or anything, so they missed that whole part where
She does meth?
She had like been arrested for meth and gone to multiple drug rehabs and all that kind of stuff. Because I don't know if you're going to work around a bunch of drugs.
Yeah. Well, how does that work? Like, do they actually have access to the drugs, or are they just like pulling fucking labs out and scanning them in a little bloop, bleep, bloop, bloop? This one's meth. This one's fucking.
They do
Rooflin.
actually have access to drugs. I don't know why, in what context, because
Maybe they need a constant. Or like, you know.
maybe. But it said, okay, so I might talk about it later, but it said like basically with every body that comes in, like they do a test and shit and be like, this one was a meth overdose. And then they would have meth. I mean, you can't, what are they, pulling it from their blood and like keeping it? I don't know.
They like recycle it.
But they had samples of the drug that they would store and keep as like, I don't know, evidence or something, right?
Okay.
So yes, they have access to the drugs.
Okay. Interesting.
So not great that you're hiring a person who might have an addiction problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And also, her main job at this place was to keep track of the drug log.
That is where maybe perhaps you should, I was going to say like, I mean, whatever, if it's like a small amount, yada, yada. But like if you're in charge of tracking it and logging it and maintaining the inventory,
And being like,
perhaps
no, there's none missing.
candor is a
Right.
appreciated trait.
And so in her fucking tracking of the drug log, she was supposed to record and manage samples of the narcotics that came into the office in connection with the death. So kind of like what I was just talking about. They get a fucking, hey, here's a sample of the meth that we found on the body. I have no idea.
That makes sense though. Like if they're like
we
what
found
else?
it with them.
What?
Like we found it with them.
Yeah, like what else was in this? Like was it bad meth? Did it have bleach in it or something?
Yeah,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
With our brains combined.
We are Captain Planet.
So Kristen and Robert started getting more serious about their affair. And they would say that they would leave their significant others for each other. Like, I don't know if I can leave Greg for you. I love you so much, right?
But like to each other or to like other people?
To each other, but also other people had heard Robert call her the future mother of his children.
Ew! What?
Yeah.
That's fucking rude.
So, yeah, they're doing it kind of just to each other, but also at the same time, they're not being like fucking secretive about
Yeah,
it.
it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that obvious, am I? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, when you say shit like that. And he would bring her flowers in the office.
God damn, this is bad. What
Yeah.
what does his wife think? Does she, like, never show up at work like, surprise, honey, let's go to lunch?
I mean, I guess not. I don't know if I would show up at the fucking San Diego medical examiner's office. I'd be like, I don't know, they
we'd
seem
be
pretty
there all
busy.
the time.
You're right.
We'd be like, hey, just dropped in. Any good ones today?
You got a live one today?
No, I never do. You
Stop
always
saying
ask
that
that every
fucking joke,
day.
Aaron. Oh my God. So he's bringing her flowers. They're fucking being not too subtle about it at work.
Yeah, not too conspicuous.
Yeah, and they would write love notes to each other.
Oh, God.
Gross.
It's like us at the nurse's office.
Yeah.
We used to be TAs for the nurse. And we would just write each other notes and hide them under the desk. How's it going? Boring day today. She has a headache. Watch out.
Did you see how the lights are fucking yellow now? Apparently it helps her headache. I'm dying.
What's wrong with the school nurse? Oh, God.
Oh my God. I wonder what happened to her.
Well, I'm sure she's still a school nurse.
I thought you were going to say, I'm sure she's dead because she was kind of old. Oh, listen. She might be.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah, so that's what they were doing, basically. And Kristen told her best friend forever that she was in love with her boss and that she was afraid to tell her husband.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
And
What would you do if I called you with that shit?
Oh my God. I would be like, well,
Hold on.
first of all, let me see a picture. Second of all, don't ruin your life over that.
Yeah, right.
Unless,
Oh my
I
God.
mean, you really need to get out. Then fucking just get out, right?
Right.
Don't kill anybody.
Yeah. Not worth murder. Is that where this is going?
Maybe.
Was her best friend like...
Let's kill him. I will help you hide the body.
Poor Greg, man. Like, he's just, like, living his best life, so happy, ready to have some kids.
Yeah, literally. He's just, like, none the wiser, having a good time, and his wife's out there fucking diddling another man.
Oh. In the butthole?
In that special spot, right behind the balls.
Ah, yes.
The gooch. Oh, my God. Okay.
I think my next animal I'm going to name Gooch. No matter what it is.
Oh, this is Goober, and this is Gooch.
But it's going to be called The Gooch, but we'll call it Gooch for sure.
Yeah, first name The.
Oh,
my God. So by October, Kristen told her BFF that she planned to leave and that she was looking for an apartment.
Okay.
And Kristen and Robert were then sent out on a fucking work thing.
Uh-oh. Like a conference?
Out to
medical-
Milwaukee.
Oh.
Yeah. Where they had to go to seminars and shit, you know,
Yeah.
like learn about stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it was for like a week.
Okay.
Obviously, they had different hotels provided by the company. Like,
Yeah, but they were like, we'll share.
Yeah, they rented their own to be like, no, this is fine.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And
Why didn't they just use one of their hotel rooms?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe because those two hotels were probably closer to other coworkers. Like if they rent this whole fucking row or whatever,
Yeah.
then you'll have other coworkers and you don't want to see that. You don't want them to see you going into like, hey, that was fucking Robert's room, right?
Yeah, that's weird. I
Yeah.
didn't know they had a meeting today.
Yeah, literally. Why wasn't I invited?
Yeah.
So why I think that is because a coworker allegedly saw Kristen at one point and said that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring.
Scandalous, but they all knew that they were together, kind of.
Yeah, but they were taking it as like a fucking little honeymoon, right?
Okay.
Like they were being much more open about it. I'm sure they weren't like making out in the office or anything.
Ugh.
But then here they're like going places together and she's not wearing a ring.
Pretending to be a couple.
Yeah, basically.
That's so fucked up, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But they did actually go to the seminars and stuff.
Well, I mean, at least they fulfilled their duties.
Yeah. But I think one of the seminars or also maybe the main seminar was about a drug called fentanyl.
Meth. Oh, fentanyl. That's just as bad.
Yeah. Well, it's actually can be worse, apparently.
Shit's dangerous as fuck.
Apparently, it is 100 times stronger than morphine.
Yeah, and it's like the tiniest little amount.
And it's not commonly tested in medical examiners' offices. So overdose cases, usually they don't test for it, so they don't find out that it is fentanyl because it's not usually prescribed, right? Like it's not on their fucking list of shit to be aware of, really.
Yeah. Or at least I'm sure it wasn't then.
Yeah, at that point it
It's
wasn't.
a lot more predominant now.
Yeah, I think because it kept getting cut with, like, meth.
Yeah, they still do it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And then people are like, uh-oh, that one had a little too much fentanyl. And then a lot of people died.
Yep. Bad batch.
Yeah. So this was still when it was, like, less common.
Yeah.
So to add to that, the San Diego Medical Examiner's Office definitely didn't test for it.
Mm-hmm.
But want some foreshadowing for you?
Somebody's going to get drugged with it.
Somebody's going to get fentanyled.
But they're going to feel so good when they die.
So it's not exactly clear how Greg found out about the affair.
Uh-huh.
But Kristen said that she told him.
Okay, so she's coming clean.
Yeah, she's like, I'm getting out of this shit, right?
Yeah.
And so...
Oh, poor Greg.
Yeah. So she told him, and according to her, he got super depressed and then demanded that she give him Robert's phone number.
Uh-oh.
And he called Robert and told him to end the affair.
Okay.
But obviously, Robert was like, no.
I'm okay.
I'm in love. I'm not going to end it. Like, deuces sucks to suck, right?
Yeah.
However, the cops believe that Greg just happened to find out about the affair, not that Kristen told him about it.
Yeah.
And that he freaked out and threatened to tell their supervisor.
Ooh, so he was like countering, like,
Yeah.
I got this dirt on you.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I can fucking make your shit end, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin your life for ruining mine.
Mm-hmm. Also, to add fucking frosting to the cupcake here.
Ooh, I love frosting.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't. But
I don't either.
I was just saying that to segue. But I also want people to know I don't like it. It's very important to me.
Noted. Well, Kristen got back into meth.
Oh, good.
So,
what does Robert think of this?
I'll tell you in a little bit.
Okay.
So, she was stealing from work.
Okay.
Because, remember, she's fucking in charge of keeping and logging the samples of drugs and stuff.
Yeah, so she's got, like, fucking her own little pharmacy.
Exactly. She's like, oh, I'll try that.
Ooh, let me try this one. Stay away from that one.
Don't do as much as was in that guy's system.
Yeah. That was a bad batch.
Yeah. And Robert, the fucking affair man, Australian guy.
Her boss.
And her supervisor.
Yeah.
He found out that she had been stealing meth from work because he found, like, traces of it or something on her desk. And he was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Traces?
Yeah.
He's, like, running around with fucking, like, testing strips.
Well,
Ha! It's blue.
so earlier it was talking about her cutting it up into lines. And so I'm thinking maybe there was, like, fucking
Dust.
powder on her desk. And he's like, what's this? And then, I don't know, licked her desk. I don't know what he did.
And then
but he was like,
oh, that's a good batch.
that's meth. Yeah. And so he was like, what the fuck, man? And she was like, sorry about it. I am addicted to meth. And
Sorry about it. Hate to break it to you.
yeah. And he was like, oh no, but I like to have sex with you so much.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate.
Yeah. So he was like, I'll just sweep this under the rug, throw away the fucking samples. And he covered it up for her.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. So by November, Kristen was finally ready to leave Greg for Robert.
Okay.
And she's like, let's fucking do a trial separation, right?
Okay.
You know, like,
Yeah. I'm just going to disappear for a while.
yeah,
You're going to disappear for a while and we'll pretend that this never happened.
exactly.
What about Robert? Is he still with his wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Greg was like, no, the fuck we're not. Like, he didn't take that shit well, right?
Yeah.
And he got super depressed and he stayed in bed for days.
Aw, that's so sad.
Yeah. So then, according to Kristen, one day Greg saw something sticking out of her back pocket
Uh-oh.
and he grabbed it.
Uh-oh.
And it was a love letter to Kristen from Robert.
Uh-oh.
And so Kristen tried to grab it back from Greg, but Greg wrestled it away from her and he was able to read it.
Why would you keep that shit in your pocket?
Fucking, I don't know.
You're not very good at affairs, lady.
Right? Also, like, was it in your pocket on your way home from work? Or are you just fucking hanging around the house on, like, a Saturday?
Yeah, like,
this-
why is it in your pocket?
Positive affirmation in your pocket. It's weird.
Yeah.
He read it, and he obviously freaked the fuck out, and he threatened to tell her office and tell them about her drug use as well, because he knew that she was back on meth.
Uh-oh.
And she compared it to a scene from The Shining where fucking Jack Nicholson just goes bananas, right? And so she's like, he went fucking crazy.
Yeah, he even yelled, "Here's Johnny."
Here's Gregory. So a few days later, Kristen's parents came over for dinner with Kristen and Greg.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if they knew about the fucking blow up
Falling
love letter. Yeah, the little falling out thing that they had. But her dad later said that it was a pleasant evening.
Oh, so they faked it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So November 6th, Greg woke up sick.
Uh-oh.
And he was groggy, but Kristen chalked it up to him getting hammered 2 nights before with her parents.
Oh, like a hangover 2 days later?
Yeah.
That's a big hangover.
Yeah. The only time that's ever happened to me was my 21st, and that was because I was still drunk the next day, so the hangover didn't hit me until the next day.
Yeah, you were so drunk on your 21st.
I've learned since then some
It was
things.
fun.
But
Hey,
I feel like
I've
everyone
been
needs
there.
to learn.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll never do that again.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
I
But
remember you throwing up in the bathroom at the bar and us looking at each other and being like, you didn't throw up in the bathroom at the bar?
nope, rally.
Go back out there.
That was literally like 10 minutes after we got to the bar.
Yeah, that's too many shots.
Yeah, they were like, oh my God, you're 21? Well, let's all do shots with every single person at this bar. And I was like, this sounds like a good idea. And then my body was like, that wasn't a good idea.
It probably kept you alive. Your body was like, let's purge this because there's going to be more.
Yeah, exactly. There's got to be more. I don't think she's going to stop, guys.
I remember you being like, I'm not even that drunk. I just don't want it.
Yeah, it was bad. I remember having fucking Scooby snacks or something.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
I don't
so
want to
bad.
talk about it.
Okay, so he had this fucking late hangover, right? 'Cause apparently he was super hammered.
Uh-huh.
And also, he had a cold, and so he was taking cold medicine.
Uh-oh.
So Kristen called his office for him and told them that he wasn't going to make it to work that day.
Sure. Are you sure this is what happened?
Well, I'm sure that she called his office to be like, yeah, he's not feeling well. He's
Yeah.
not coming in.
Yeah, on account of I'm killing him.
Yeah, which is fucking weird, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I would never call Brandon's boss,
No.
mostly because he works
No.
for himself. But
And even if, I mean, I get that this is like the 90s or something, but I was going to say, even if I was dying, I would at least muster the energy to text my boss and be like, sorry about it, I'm dying.
exactly. But it's the 90s. They don't have that. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the 90s and she's like, you know, trying to be the good housewife, even though she wasn't a housewife. She's trying to be the good
covering
wife.
her tracks.
Yeah.
I'm on to you.
Can't put anything past you.
I'm like super smart.
So you agree it's weird as fuck that she calls, right?
Yeah, super weird.
Well, apparently Greg's boss also thought it was weird as fuck.
Good.
Yeah. So at about 10 a.m., he called Greg, but no one answered
Yeah.
because it's fucking house phones, right?
Yep.
He called again at about 7 p.m., but Kristen answered, and Greg's boss said that she seemed agitated, and she told him that Greg was sleeping. So, like, fucking fuck off, right?
I wonder if his boss kind of knew what was going on. Like if they were friends and he kind of confided, like,
Yeah.
hey, shit isn't so great at the home front. I'm sorry if life has been rough at work for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not let it impact my work, but it's seeping in. Like,
I think that that is a very possible thing. I don't know for sure, but I feel like if my marriage was ending, I would probably tell someone.
yeah, especially if like it's making your work suffer. You could be like, listen, I'm trying to not.
Yeah, like I
Bring
know I
shit
haven't
to
been on
work.
top of my game recently, but like this shit's happening, so give me a break for like, I don't know.
A minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah, the boss could have known. And so he was weirded out that Kristen had answered. He hadn't been able to talk to Greg, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, by 8 p.m., which is only an hour after Greg's boss called the second time, Kristen called 911.
Oh, this bitch.
She said that Greg wasn't breathing. And when the paramedics got on scene, they said that he was lying on the bedroom floor and there were rose petals on his chest.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Okay, break it down.
Also, their wedding picture was on the bed next to his pillow, along with Kristen's journal, where she had detailed parts of her affair and her doubts in their marriage.
What is wrong with people?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
First of all,
Did she lay the scene out? Or was she like trying to
Maybe.
seduce him? And then she was
well, I
like,
don't think,
"Fata,
I don't think
fentanyl."
she's trying to seduce him.
Well, what's up with the rose petals?
I'll tell you about
And a
it.
picture of their wedding?
I think that it's supposed to look like he was looking at their wedding picture and being like, oh, I love her so much. I miss what we had. He's got her diary or journal or whatever. And it's like,
Suicide?
this is our fucking marriage ending. And then he suicided himself,
Okay.
I believe is what it's supposed to look like. I'll tell you about the rose petals in a minute.
First of all, this might be my cynical way of thinking about life. And also, I hope I don't offend all men when I say this, but I'm pretty sure like the majority of men are not that thoughtful.
Or like sentimental.
Yeah, or like that reflective that like if they're going to end it all, I'm sure they wouldn't be like staring at a picture of their he's probably pissed. Like,
Yeah.
not like, oh, but I love her so much. You might do that if like she died or something tragic, but like,
Yeah.
she cheated on you. You're mad. Like, it's in your genes. That's biological fucking chemistry going on inside of your body that you can't control. There's anger. There's whatever. There's like aggression.
Yeah.
That's what makes you alpha male and kept us all alive for so long, evidently. And us little women just ran behind, keeping your fucking shit in tune so you didn't die in a brawl from headbutting some other caveman. You're fucking
right.
welcome.
Cool it with the emotions.
Yeah, okay, calm it down, tone it down. I feel like this all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that that's not a very manly,
Likely way to go out.
likely.
Well, I don't want to say manly, but I guess that's what I'm saying, which is what people will be offended at. But I just can't, you look at that and you're like, oh, that's so
Yeah.
sad and so sweet. But in my head, I'm like, fuck that. He's probably pissed. He'd be pissed. He's going to off himself. He'd go do something else. Or even if it was in there, he wouldn't fucking lay rose petals out for himself and sit around a picture of his
Yeah.
old wedding and be like, oh my God.
Well, I just learned recently that in the event of a fire, Brandon and I argued about this. In the event of a fire, he's like, what would you grab? Like, we need to make a firebox because we live on the side of a fucking canyon. So
Yeah.
we need to make like a thing that we can just grab and go.
To go
right?
back, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, like, I don't know, fucking IDs, insurance stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he was like, what about our wedding book? And I was like, what about our wedding book?
I'm never going to look at that thing again.
It sits on our shelf. And like every once in a while I look at it and it's really nice and I love it and everything.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, that's not something that I would bring. Like I'd get the cats and the pets and the like fucking
Live things?
Yeah, the live things. And then if I had more time, then I'd be like,
Yeah, that is of sentimental value.
important paperwork stuff. And then if I had more time, I guess that stuff. But like that's not number one on my list. But apparently it's number one on his list.
Aww.
And I was like, that's adorable. But
they're like
like
way sweeter than we give them credit for.
literally, yeah. And that's like we kind of argued about it because he's like, you can't replace that. And I'm like, well, I mean, the photographer is still alive.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a memory stick around here.
Yeah. So like we probably could replace it. But also like
It's in my brain.
they're just things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, get the people out. But also, so maybe he would kill himself fucking with our wedding book in his hands.
Maybe he probably wouldn't. He's
No,
gonna
he
go
probably
out
wouldn't.
with like a rattlesnake and a tiger,
Oh my God.
and he's gonna be like, "I'm gonna try to take this bear down, and if it kills me, that's how I die."
Yeah.
That's how Brandon's going out if he suicides himself.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna tackle this boar.
Yeah. And then he'll live and be like, I tackled a fucking boar. And then it'll only do fucking a disservice to his ego. And then we all have to deal with that for a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. Until he's like, you think I can take down that bear?
God damn it, Brandon.
Is
Stop
this
trying to kill
considered
yourself.
suicide
Are these your signs?
or what do I even? So
Okay, so
Maybe.
this guy,
yes, this guy apparently real sentimental.
that's her theory she's trying to paint anyway. Okay.
So Kristen also admitted to police that Greg had been taking clonazepam,
Oh, yeah.
which she had bought earlier in the year, like from Mexico, to help kick the meth habit.
Okay.
Apparently that'll help.
Interesting. I thought it like made you drowsy.
It does.
Okay.
But apparently it's like a painkiller too. And
Yeah.
so I guess meth withdrawals hurt.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm with you.
So it was determined that he probably committed suicide by overdose upon learning that she had an affair and like their relationship was actually over, right?
Okay.
His body was sent to the San Diego Medical Examiner's office,
Awkward.
where Robert actually determined that that is exactly what had happened.
Oh, how convenient. Oh, this is awkward.
Side note,
Yeah.
this motherfucker never gave death reports.
Oh.
Yeah, that was generally up to someone else because
This
he,
motherfucker.
yeah, he was a supervisor. But on this one, he was like, I got this one.
I'll handle this one.
Yeah. He took it upon himself to do this one, which was his fucking lover's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
it's-
died suspiciously.
Yeah, definitely not sus at all, right?
Oh, God.
So the police were like, all right, cool, case closed, suicide.
Yeah. Another one on the books.
Yeah. And Greg's family was like, the fuck it was.
Hold up.
Yeah. And they begged the police to keep looking and that he wouldn't have killed himself and probably also that, like, he's not that sentimental. He wouldn't have put all of those things
Yeah.
around himself.
Right? Okay.
So Greg's brother was positive that Kristen had something to do with it.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm fucking onto you, buddy.
Yeah. He also knew that her favorite movie was American Beauty.
Oh.
Is the rose petal thing setting in?
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
This lady's a bitch.
Yeah. So, for anyone that doesn't know American Beauty, it has a scene that's fucking weirdly similar to the way that Greg's body was found, and there's, like, rose petals around the guy who, like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's not at all, like, the guy didn't kill himself or anything. But apparently she is a big fan of the movie, and it's, like, a huge cinematic scene, whatever. And so she's like, oh, this is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So Kristen and Robert both actually got fired from the San Diego Medical Examiner's office.
Good.
For their relationship.
Good.
Drug use. And Robert's covering up of Kristen's drug use.
Oh my God. How did they find that out?
I'm not sure.
They probably just looked.
Yeah, I think after everything, they were probably like, all right, this is pretty suspect.
Yeah,
Maybe
let me
we should
investigate.
Yeah, look into some stuff. And so the police also looked into the medical examiner's office because of the drug use and the stealing and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they discovered that there was meth missing, obviously.
Bum, 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 bum.
Mm-hmm. And also 15 fentanyl patches.
Damn.
And a vial of powdered fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
Robert had keys to the drug locker since he was a supervisor.
Oh,
and
God.
also, all these samples came from cases that Kristen had worked. So she also had access to all these samples.
Yeah, like it's fucking obvious.
Yeah. So the San Diego Medical Examiner's office was like, all right, well, just to cover our own ass here,
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't be cool to do the ruling of death or whatever on one of our employees' spouses.
Yeah.
So they sent samples to the medical examiner in LA.
Oh, good.
To be tested there.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much left to test, seeing as this was now a few months later, and Kristen had already had most of his body donated for transplants already.
Oh, shit.
Fucking conveniently.
Yeah.
But they had enough to test, and they actually found a different cause of death.
I didn't know you could transplant if you overdosed on drugs.
Maybe, I think it was like his eyes and shit.
Oh, okay.
So
Your eyes don't matter if they have drugs on them?
I don't think that they take in
They don't
drugs
retain it.
that I know of. I don't know. Karen, can you fucking weigh in here?
Well, I'm sure like the liver and the kidneys, those are like the filters of the body, right?
Yeah,
so that
you
makes
probably
sense.
don't want a methed out or fentanyled out liver.
Yeah, but your eyes are cool.
I don't know.
Those
Listen.
cornea are chill as fuck.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention too, the last case that I did, or not the last one, but like second to last one that I did with fucking Meatball in the chin.
Uh-huh.
The chin's eyes were transplanted to someone else, so someone else is walking around with his eyes.
Today?
I guess, yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, they're probably dead by now because it was like 30s, 20s, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I totally
Interesting.
forgot to mention it when I was going back through and editing, and I was like, motherfucker, that was an interesting thing.
That is interesting.
Anyway, so can you guess the different cause of death?
What?
Fentanyl. Weird. They were like,
Super
he
weird.
died of a fentanyl overdose.
How odd.
He had 7 times the amount that
Jesus.
it would take to be lethal in his system.
My God.
So
How'd she get him?
Well-
she shoot it in him? Stick a patch on him?
it still could be suicide, right?
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe he just used fentanyl instead, right?
Yeah. There were like all these patches in the middle of his back where he couldn't reach.
Right.
Like, have you ever seen those? There's like these videos that went around for a long time where you stick a sticker or something in the middle of a buff guy's like between their shoulder blades and they can't grab it because their muscles are too big.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, like that. She's like wrestling with him and like, ha ha. And he's like, fuck.
It's like, I can't reach it.
Oh, that would be the worst way to die.
Yeah. Slash probably pretty great because you don't have any pain.
Probably, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's might have been what happened, but more
Probably
likely.
not. They didn't find any patches on him, so.
Yeah, he didn't have any patches on him. So, also, if he had taken that much, he wouldn't have had time to dispose of the container of whatever, the fentanyl,
Yeah.
before he passed out
Yeah.
and then died, right?
Yeah. Pretty suspicious.
So when they initially searched the bedroom, they did find a glass of clear liquid on the nightstand,
Uh-huh.
but they assumed it was water and it was never actually tested.
Okay.
Another thing, his lungs had been filled with fluid,
Ooh.
which
Interesting.
apparently suggests that he had been unconscious or close to it for 6 to 12 hours before he died.
So they built up.
Yeah, because I guess you're not taking full breaths if you're unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's bad for your lungs.
Real bad.
So, It seems unlikely that he would have been able to give himself the fentanyl. Like, if taking that much would knock you out and kill you immediately.
Yeah, and he was out for a while.
Yeah. Then that suggests that he had taken the drug while he was supposedly unconscious, right? Like,
Which
that's not
means-
fucking possible.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to do.
Yeah.
So police were like, all right, maybe we should talk to Kristen again.
Yeah, something's a little suspicious.
And she said that day that she woke up, Greg was sick, she called his boss, and then she went to work. She came home during her lunch break, and Greg was awake but groggy, so they had soup together, and then she went back to work.
But he had no soup in his stomach.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know the contents of his stomach.
But if anybody would, it would be her to know that, like, oh, you could digest soup that fast or something, you know?
Oh, yeah, right?
Right?
Maybe they just didn't even look at that. I don't know. But
Okay.
she went back to work, and then when she got off work, she went home, and Greg was sleeping, but she kissed him, so she knew that he was alive.
Okay.
Which, if you're having an affair and planning to leave your husband, I don't think I would come home and then immediately kiss my sick husband.
Right.
But, okay.
You'd also be like, I don't want whatever the fuck's going on with you. That shit looks awful.
Fuck, man, that too.
Yeah.
Like, you've been in bed for days. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And so then she took a shower, and when she got out, she found Greg not breathing on the bed.
Okay. That was pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. She called 911, and they had her move Greg to the floor to perform CPR.
Okay.
Because,
That's why he's on the floor.
yeah, you can't do that shit on a bed.
Uh-huh.
When the paramedics got there, remember they had found rose petals on his chest, right?
Yeah.
Well, that would be weird if you had to fucking roll an unconscious dude onto the floor. Like, why would the petals be on your chest?
What if they're, like, stuck to your hands, and then you go to do CPR and they fall off your hands?
Yeah, maybe. But also, there were no rose petals underneath him.
Okay.
So...
And they weren't, like, crushed or anything.
Yeah, they weren't crushed or anything.
Like,
and
she
they're
sprinkled him with rose petals. That's fucking weird.
Possibly. Because if he had covered himself in rose petals and then she rolled him off the bed, like, one would probably flutter the floor before he got there, and then he'd be laying on it. Or,
Yeah.
like, they'd be fucking... It'd be in disarray, right?
So weird. Yeah. The
Yeah.
rose petal thing, like, you didn't have to.
No.
It's so weird.
Why are you trying to make it so, like, dramatic?
I don't know.
So, remember that pleasant evening that the couple had shared with Kristen's parents?
Yeah.
Well, once Kristen was actually a suspect in the murder, her dad came out again and said that it actually wasn't a pleasant evening.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Ooh.
He said, in fact, that Greg was a man that was spiraling down, and he was drinking heavily all night, and he continued to raise his voice, so Kristen's dad had to be like, yo, fucking cool it. Like,
Okay, wait, but he's only saying this now that Kristen is suspected,
yep,
and he has bailed her out before.
yep.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a little afraid if that were my daughter. I'd be like, hold up. But did you do it?
Yeah, right? Like, but you actually have to tell me the truth, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he knew. Bum, 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 bum.
What?
So Kristen's mom also said that Greg kept talking about how he bought Kristen a dozen red roses for her birthday a few days earlier.
Oh.
And he was obsessed with the fact that all but one of the roses had died. And he kept calling it, like, the last rose standing,
What the fuck?
and was taking it as a sign that their relationship was over.
What
I
the
have
fuck?
no idea. Yeah,
That's
he's like,
really weird.
this is the fucking last straw of our relationship,
Why is
right?
everybody so poetic?
Nobody is poetic except for Kristen. Like, it has to be just her. So now, like you're saying, it could be that her parents are fucking covering up for her, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, also,
Tell me.
there's a fucking smoking gun in this one. There was a receipt from a supermarket that showed that Kristen had bought a single rose
Oh my God.
on the day that Greg had died,
Oh my God.
at the same time that she was allegedly having soup with him.
What the fuck?
So Kristen was finally charged with Greg's murder 8 months after Greg died.
Did they find like the stem of the rose in the apartment?
I don't
I
know.
have so many questions.
First of all, why?
yeah. First question.
Yeah.
The fuck?
So then on November 13th, 2002, the trial started for her first-degree murder with special circumstances.
Okay.
And Kristen was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Damn, good.
So what about Robert, right?
Yeah, what's going on with old Rob?
Well, when he was fired from the San Diego Medical Examiner's office, his visa expired as well. And
How
so
convenient.
he was sent back to Australia because now he doesn't have a fucking job, right? It's like a working visa.
I'm sure he did not try to renew that shit.
Oh, no.
He was like, no.
And he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm real busy back in Australia right now.
Also, apparently this bitch is single now, and I'm not actually looking to commit.
Yeah, I got a wife.
Yeah, so then he went back to Australia, and they called him a, quote, unindicted co-conspirator. But
Okay.
basically, they're like, yeah, he probably also had some shit to do with this, if nothing else but, like, covering up her stealing the fentanyl or giving her access or
So
anything
are they
like
just
that.
like, you just chill over there in Australia, and as long as you don't come over here, we'll leave you alone?
Basically, yeah, because they haven't been able to extradite him yet. Or
Wow.
at all. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still trying to, but basically, like, he's not allowed in the U.S. anymore, or he's going
Wow.
to get charged with some shit.
I hope Australia knows about that. Like, I hope he's
Right?
not a medical examiner anymore.
Right? They're like, hey, this guy has a fucking sketchy ass past.
I wonder what his wife thinks.
Probably not his wife anymore, because I would be like, hey, you know that whole affair that you just had?
Yeah, and how you helped kill someone, basically.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my fucking story.
God damn.
Pretty
That's fucked
exciting.
up.
Had you heard it?
Nope. I was going to say, side note, had not heard it.
Nice.
There's a story, and it might not have happened in California, but of somebody who works in like a medical examiner's office, or maybe like, I don't know, with fucking chemicals or some shit, and she ends up dying. And I thought that was where this was all going. You might have already told that story, actually.
Oh, I was like, this one?
No. I can't remember. All the fucking murder stories merged together in my
Me
head.
too. Every time I pick a new case, I literally have to go to our site and
Yes.
like search it. And I'm
You're
like,
like, this sounds familiar.
yeah, I'm like, okay, good. It wasn't ours.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody.
If you want to check out pictures pertaining to our case, go to isgdpodcast.com. There's also links to our merch in Dice, where we also have masks now for sale,
Oh, yeah.
and our Patreon. And for as little as $1, you can get 17 episodes, as well as one new episode a month.
Yeah.
So fucking come join our Patreon, peeps.
Yeah.
It
do
might
that.
be 18 by now. That's how far ahead we are recording.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Yeah.
I do the math
pretty
like
close.
every day, and I'm like, I have a day, and then I don't.
And then you don't. She just like crash edited 2 episodes.
I did yesterday. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot Patreon was due. So listen, that one's extra special.
Extra special. All right, if you want to follow us on social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at ISGD Podcast. Come join the goddamn pod group.
Yep.
It's fun on Facebook. Also, you can email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com. And then Erin's going to tell you a snail mail.
You can snail mail us at P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
Woo woo. And then please subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your friends all about us
Tell your friends.
so we can have some more friends.
Yeah.
On that note, I think that's it, right?
I think so.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
And girls.
Girl, bye.
Girl, bye. Later, Gator.